Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
I'm your co-host, Dan.
What's up?
What's up?
This podcast was created to provide you, our heroes, with new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
We're fucking old.
Yeah, we are.
We're only in our 30s. Go!
That's old. Somebody needs to pick up the goddamn line.
Okay, shut up. We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure.
A show may not be suitable for young children, but neither is a D&D games.
That says game.
It's plural on the version I'm looking at.
Damn it, it's because I just changed it. This is where I'll insert the ad to Jeff Stevens. He has sponsored us for the month, so all these episodes you'll hear an ad for him. So if you want to support,
this is where you hear the ad now.
If you're looking for some good adventures, there's a link in the show notes. You can help support our show by supporting Jeff for a couple bucks a month. A couple bucks for his adventures. They're really good. Check them out.
Check it out.
So thank you for joining us today here at Crit Academy Studios, where everything's made up and your roles don't matter.
Yep, that's right. Your roles are like a lawless land.
So, anarchy?
You got to give it some emotion.
What kind of emotion do I do with that?
It's lawless land. I mean, that means virgins dying left and right, homes getting pillaged and robbed.
So in other words, post-apocalyptic or Western?
Both.
I was thinking Western.
Anywho,
oh my god, I want to play that so bad.
Red
Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, did you see the guy that got banned?
Yeah.
He got banned because he beat a nun, dragged her by horseback, and then threw her to a crocodile and then beat her head in.
I thought it was a woman's suffrage woman.
It was a woman fighting. Well, she looked like a nun, but she was fighting for women's rights and some shit. I don't know, but it was horrible. I felt bad just watching. I was like, no wonder they banned his ass.
Well,
but it's part of the game.
Yeah, but the guy's like, I didn't kill her because she was women's suffrage. She was annoying. I walked through town, and then she was start screeching, and then she would talk over the guy I'm trying to talk to. I got sick of it, so I killed her.
Yeah, it was horrible and entertaining at the same time. Anyways, so we got a really great episode for you today. But before we get started, we like to start off every episode on a high note, and we do that by giving away wonderful fat loot, compliments of our sponsors.
Do.
Ian, who's our winner today?
I have no idea how to pronounce that. Bayrick at iCloud.com.
Pretty catchy, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
I haven't edited it down to be like a fade in and out, so that'll have to be done later, but whatever.
I am burping up me.
Yeah, dude, you're fucking gassing me with your shitty-ass spaghetti flavor.
It tastes like ass.
Who made it?
My wife.
I think we might be editing that line out.
Oh, fuck that. I'm going to share it right to her.
It was really good, but when it comes back up...
It's not so good?
That's why I ate peanut butter and marshmallows, because they taste the same going up as they did going down.
What?
Congratulations, Ferreric. Wow, his whole email is in there. Oops.
Bayrick.
If you enjoy the adventure, please leave Goblin Stone a review. Let him know what you like and what you didn't like, and help him improve his product moving forward. We got a really great show for you guys today. Our Let's Talk About Blank segment is a question from Chris and regarding impossible odds, the impossible odds of orcs. Wait. It's a question from Chris involving orcs. Our main topic today is the laws of the land. This is something I feel like gets left out of a lot of D&D games, except for the times where the players do something that pisses off the DM and then conveniently the guards show up. But they're never present any other time.
Yeah, I've had that. I never played with them when this came up, but I knew a guy who, when he DM games, every time a player did something he believed was truly foul, some of the entire universe was out to punish them.
And my brother-in-law did that once. They came into a pub. It's like, yeah, I want to hit the bartender. I'm like, what? Yeah, I want to punch him square in the face. I'm like, what's your passive? Oh, it's this. There's 4 really, really big guards standing outside. I'll still let you if you want to.
And you hit the bartender. People like the bartender.
Yeah. It's a good source of information. And then, of course, we have
and
our...
beer.
And, of course, we have our fourth and final segment, our Unearthed Tips and Tricks. where we bring you new and reusable material for both players and DMs. But before all that, we have In the Realm, where we spend a few minutes talking about what's going on in our realm. And I stress a few minutes. I'd like to keep the segment to 5 minutes, if possible.
No problem.
So, Ian, what's going on in your realm?
Well, a couple things, but the first big thing is, and I do mean big thing, I got me a new bookshelf for my grandpa.
Yes, I saw the pictures. It's very nice.
It's very huge.
And you filled it already.
Which actually made me sad. I was like, I gotta make me this thing so I have space for more books. Only to realize, I still have no more space for new books.
That's funny.
And although it's an older game, by older I mean a couple years old, I fired up Tyranny just for the heck of it because it was on sale on Steam over the weekend. And so far I kind of had fun with it.
Yeah, I think I messaged you. I've been looking at a good old like Baldur's Gate style game, and Pillars of Eternity jumped out at me, and then so did Tyranny.
Well, both Pillars of Eternity and Tyranny are both made by Obsidian, and I
didn't
know that Paradox also published Tyranny.
Oh, okay.
But the general premise of it is, okay, you're basically working for the Empire from Star Wars, and you're basically a middleman in the bureaucracy.
Oh no, not necessarily a bad guy, but you got to probably do some shady shit.
Yeah, especially since I can only speak for the opening segment. But the two main factions you work with are like, okay, we have this like a small but elite military order who are basically Nazis, and you have this like large horde who are basically all psychopaths.
Wow.
So I was like,
What do you do?
right. It's like, this is what I have to work with. Brandon, what's going on in your realm?
Looking for new work right now, doing some more job searching. Talked to the wife and decided that at some point, sometime soon, I'm going to be going back to Mott to become a sign language interpreter.
Fascinating.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Can you interpret this?
Fuck you.
What do you know? That's exactly what that means.
Yeah, I was a high interpreter. Fucking bitch.
I thought that means we dare you, Frenchmen, to cut off our middle fingers, for we are longbowmen of England.
Okay.
That's my favorite
Never
story.
heard of that.
That actually is what that means. What that originally
You've
meant.
never heard of that?
No.
Time out. Okay, you don't know the origin of the middle finger.
It's between my index
Not
and
where it's at, you fucktard.
It's the one in the middle of the
The
hand.
Battle of Agincourt during the 100 Years' War between England and France.
Before there was a large battle, there was heavy cavalry and a lot of Frenchmen on one side of the field, and English longbowmen, pretty much the only unit they had over there, on the other side of the field. The Frenchmen would flip them off, saying that they would cut their middle finger off when they get to them, for the survivors, because that's what they needed for their profession. At the time, if you didn't have a profession, you were pretty much worthless, right?
Yeah, I thought it was the Englishmen that flipped off the Frenchmen because there was a messenger saying, when we win, we'll cut off your middle fingers. Oh yeah? Come and get it!
Vice versa.
Yeah.
But that night it had rained,
Yep.
and when the French went to go attack,
Because heavy armor.
the heavy cavalry and all the heavy armor, they got stuck in the mud, and all the English bowmen picked them off.
Oh no!
And all the guys that actually managed to get away, they started flipping them off as they ran off.
Oh, cool.
And that's where it came from.
Yep.
I
Come
just
and get
got
it.
a history lesson. Thank
So
you
what's
for the
going
history
on? What's
lesson.
going on in your realm?
So I'm going to talk about this briefly, but it's mostly for our patrons.
Yep.
Our book should be done in a couple days. And my plan is to announce it at our live episode on Sunday. So I'm super excited for that. It'll be live for everyone.
Episode 100.
So I'm super stoked about that. If everything goes right, it'll be ready by then. That's my plan. I hope that everything goes good. Aside from that, I've been spending a lot of time playtesting Spellbreak. Now, because it's under NDA, I can't say a whole lot about it.
Nope.
But you've seen a lot of the footage of
I
the...
am amazed how locked down that thing is, too.
Oh, it really is. It's if you don't know, it's a battle royale game similar to like Fortnite or PUBG, but the difference is you're casting spells via like gauntlets that you can choose and combining them with different effects. Like for instance, the wind gauntlet, one of its abilities creates a wind tornado. If I then have a fire gauntlet and throw a fireball into it, it becomes like a flaming, exploding tornado, which is pretty dope.
You're wizards!
Yes, it's basically a wizard's battle, and
It
it's
looks
very
like so much fun.
fast-paced, and very strategy-oriented, even to the point that I won without actually killing anybody. It was pretty glorious.
Okay.
So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I've been doing some recording and footage and everything. Can't share it with anybody, but I'm going to probably release some stuff when the NDA lifts, so keep an eye out for that. And Destiny 2 is actually pretty dope. I've been playing that. I got it free. You can get it free until the 18th of November. So I highly recommend it. It's worth free for sure. So,
I do know the biggest complaint I heard about Destiny, both the first and the second one, was like, it's alright, but it only gets really good once you get the second or third expansions.
yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, I assume that's how it is. I don't know. I'm enjoying the story right now in the PvP. It's basically, to me, it's Call of Duty meets Halo.
Actually, I was kind of bugged how they handled the story in the first game, because you really only get... What?
Poorly.
Well, you only got story. It's like, okay, in order to get story, you have to read that info for all the weapons.
Yeah.
And you unlock engrams, which gives you code, which you then have to punch into the website, which you then basically read from the website. It's like, and on top of that, when I heard what the original sales pitch was for Destiny, I'm like, that sounds way more awesome than what we got. But apparently the execs said this sucks, change it.
Yeah.
The execs, not the developers.
Activision, really. Can I just say, as a guy that has has money invested in Activision, I was disappointed by the Diablo debacle. My stock dropped like 30%.
I think that's more angry fanboys than anything else.
Yeah, well, the angry fanboys dropped my value of my investment 30%. Holy fuck.
I honestly don't mind that announcement, actually, because I think quite a few people like, actually, I like the idea of playing Diablo on mobile.
My stock dropped 30%.
Blame the angry fanboys, and once it passes, it'll go back to what it was before.
Yeah, I actually am planning on buying more because I do believe that's true. As long as the only problem I got concerned, I'm getting off topic.
Yeah, you are.
Whatever. So that'll do it for In the Realm. Brandon, if they'd like to visit other realms, how can they do that?
They can visit our website at criticacademy.com, where we have a link to audible.com, where you can get a 30-day free trial and a free book.
Yeah.
So how's that Mistborn going for you?
I almost cried.
I know you did.
I was really sad. Something bad happened, and it shouldn't have.
Actually, in the realm, I'm surprised neither one of us mentioned the D&D game last Friday.
Oh, I didn't have enough time. Can't
Fair
talk
enough.
about everything. We had a great D&D session where Dipstick here took a bad guy and just threw and the bad guy was grappled to him, so he just ran into with it on him. This little tiny doll was like on your back, right?
Basically, evil Chucky doll.
Yeah, and then he just jumped into a corrosive ooze to kill it. I'm just like, fuck. What am I supposed to do with that? Like a tiny creature inside of a giant creature. She couldn't get out. It was terrible.
I was like, wait a second. I'm being grappled by this thing, and like, where yes, she's on me, but I can still move. Yep, and she'll move where I move. Yep, I dive into the ooze that we're fighting.
Yeah,
What?
it was terrible.
I think
That's smart.
and the ooze actually did more damage to what the
I'm pretty sure that I had a what the fuck on my face when he said he was going to do that. I was like, I didn't even know what to do. So
You did. It was.
I rolled with it, and it worked out pretty cool.
It did work out pretty good.
So moving on to our next segment, we have our Crit Nation. We have our Let's Talk About Blank segment. Our question today comes from Christopher B. In your game, do orcs always fight to the death, or when faced with overwhelming odds / possible defeat, will they retreat to fight another day?
I think most monsters in general that you fight in most games, the DM by default has them fight to the death. But I don't think there's any reason for them to fight to the death if the DM really wants them to. Like, be smart.
What would you do?
I could definitely see how, like, some orcs, I can definitely see how some tribes, some warrior classes would have a mindset of fight to the death, no retreat. But I could definitely see some, like, you know what? Maybe a tactical retreat or so we can fight another day. I will kill you tomorrow.
What do you think, Brandon? Dude, he has got some stank ass breath tonight.
Oh my god. I think it could go well with what was that? Chain of command. Like the lower the chain is, like all the grunts and such. Yeah. It's pretty bad, ain't it? I'm sorry. But grunts, yes, they fight to the death, but the higher up the chain of command is, the more likely they are to back off.
Because they're not stupid.
That's what I would think.
Rather, less stupid.
And you know what? I think that's the way some people think. I'm actually of the other mind that if the players engaged in a small scouting part or a small party that has a chain of command, I feel like if the leader died, they would run. And I've had him do all the things we've discussed, right?
Right.
I've had him stay and fight to the death. I've had him run when the captain run while his minions take the brunt of the assault. And I've had, and more recently, I'm more of the mind that if the captain goes down before the minions will often run away.
And actually, I can say if they withdraw, this could create potential roleplay opportunities as well.
Oh yeah. You want to elaborate?
Like some orcs retrieve one punches around. You have not seen the last of me, Dennis.
I saw Dennis coming somewhere. He was going to be mentioned.
And you might see them again. Remember me? Hey, you're that guy whose butt we kicked that one time. Know what I mean?
Yes, I got you. You can call me Dennis the Menace. So
It's a good joke, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, you nailed it. So I think it really just depends on the type. And there's another way you could take this too. Different orcs have different clans, and because clans that have different cultures, right? And you could have a non-violent set of orcs that they're not trying to fight to kill or fight to the death themselves. They're just trying to distract you or just trying to keep themselves from dying. And so it really comes down to you as a DM. I think any one of these are a valid choice for orcs.
Yep.
Unless you're they're heavy into following Groomsh, then they're probably gonna fight to the death. But that's just kind of Groomsh's thing.
I am Bazu of the Cod Clan.
Oh my god, motherfucking bazooka, really? God damn it. I'm going to steal that one of these days. Yeah, so Chris, those are kind of our feelings on it. You really can do this any way you want. We all three have different opinions on how it should be handled.
And they're all legit.
And they're all legit, so run it how you think is best. When in doubt, just overrun the players till they're all dead. And wave after wave after wave.
Or, when in doubt, throw a huge curveball at the players and dumbfound them.
How would they do that?
I don't know. Depends on the circumstances.
That's a good point. Like I just envision them throwing rocks at like an arc angle, like a curveball. All right, that'll do it for our Let's Talk About Blank segment. Chris, thank you for your submission. If we answered your question, I hope we answered your question today. If we didn't, please let us know. Leave us a review. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like, and help us improve the product. Or what the fuck? I just got two things mixed up.
Yeah, that's a.
Well, we hope we answered your question today. If we didn't, please contact us and let us know and all that jazz. Now moving on to the meat and potatoes of the show, our main topic. Our topic is the laws of the land. If you don't know, Dragon Heist is one of the most recent releases from Wizards of the Coast.
Yarp.
And it comes with a very, very interesting segment in the book. And this book is all about punishments and crimes or punishments that fit the crimes. Which is something that I feel like, and this might just be my games, is missing in a lot of cases.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys agree with that.
I think that's actually true for a lot of games. Because, let's face it, how's that one meme go? The 4 classes that every D&D party is actually 4 murder hobos that...
Yes. That's actually a class now, by the way. You can find it on DM's Guild. Jesus, dude. Holy fuck.
I am glad
Can you not keep that shit in? It's worse than the stuff that comes out your ass.
And that's saying something.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've all have committed biological warfare against each other at some point.
Yeah. It's kind of how it goes around.
Yeah, this is my vengeance for you, stank ass.
Oh, whatever. So...
The next one's going right to your face.
Oh, motherfucker, you better not.
Great. I think about that one time we all went to Tony's.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I took, 3 breaks in the middle of the show?
Oh, yeah. I think I shared one. It was like, I gotta go, guys. I gotta take a crap.
Shit.
You had some one-off joke that was hilarious that tied right to it, too. I don't remember what it was. I shared it as an outtake.
Blooper,
yeah. So, yeah, I was really excited to see this in the Dragon Heist magazine. There's a link on our website under books and in our show notes. You can pick up the Dragon Heist book through our affiliate link. It's currently on sale as of the recording here on the 11th of November. I don't know how long that'll last, but definitely click the link and check it out. We'll get a little affiliate kickback for that. So punishment for a crime can include many different things, and it's really just based on the nature of the crime. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ideally.
And also depends on who you are and if you've got a previous record, right?
Sure.
So all that stuff kind of comes into play, but they basically have a set a set number of categories that kind of everything falls under. The first one being death and exile, right? That's kind of the most extreme of the punishments. Would you agree?
The sentence is death by exile.
To a desert. What do you guys want to?
I hated that movie.
I don't know, Shema.
The Dark Knight Returns movie.
Oh,
There's flogging.
Flogging.
What is flogging?
Cat of Nine Tails whip.
Oh, like cracking the whip on people?
Yep.
It's pretty severe.
Yep.
It's
Pretty nasty. It sounds like.
there's a whip and there's a flog.
And a nay.
Well, a flog is
I don't give a flog.
I don't give a flog. It's a whip with many whips on it, and on these whips are usually hooks, certain pieces of metal,
Shit.
and they hit
Or
you.
broken glass or clay.
That's harsh.
Yeah.
If you want a good rendition of what that looks like, go watch Passion of the Christ.
Go.
Yes, I've seen that, and it was terrifying.
Yes,
Yep.
that's what flogging is.
So it also notes that I think they, you can get flogging, but there's different number of strokes depending on the severity, right?
Yep.
Which
And-
makes it that much worse.
And the Romans had down to a science to the point where, okay, if we flag somebody this many times, it'll probably kill them.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No.
And we also have hard labor. Yeah. And I think we all know what hard labor means, where for a period of days, months, years, depending on the crime,
Yeah. So what kind of hard labor would they have in Forgotten Realms?
breaking apart the stones in the quarry.
Oh, that's a good one. That's exhausting work.
Yep.
Getting whipped by a taskmaster.
Break that stone apart. Okay. Now put it back together.
But I'm not a wizard!
Of course, the most common thing I think we have run into is imprisonment in the dungeon. Generally, depending on the severity of the crime, determines the length of time that you are imprisoned. And I think I've only played this out a few times, but in the times that I have, it's became a thing where the guards often beat the players, or
Yep.
they mistreat them, they don't feed them, or something that can really tax the players physically and mentally.
And something you might want to take into account, too, though, is, like, okay, imprisoning your martial classes, fine, that's fairly straightforward, but what about magic users? Especially high-level magic users.
Well, in a place like in this book, it takes place in Waterdeep. You assume that they've got magical manacles that will
Right.
dampen magic. They've got wards to prevent people from getting in and out with like teleportation. So I assume in a place like Waterdeep, they've got all that. Someplace like Hillbilly Bob's Village probably doesn't have that sort of stuff, right?
Okay, we're gonna keep you gagged, and we're gonna have you wear these special manacles that are actually in the shape of gauntlets, but you can't move the fingers, so you can't use them. That's so mad crap.
Oh, nice. I like that.
They're too small. Crap.
And another popular one is fining people.
Yeah, that's a lot of things that comes up in 5th edition is my players have all this money and they don't know what to do with it.
I know what to do with it.
I was gonna say, how many things are they doing that are within the law, right? How much, stuff like, if you fine them enough, well, you drawing your weapon in public, boy, that'll be 50 gold pieces.
And suddenly, that paladin in the party who was really annoying suddenly seems really smart. I warned you! I warned you! You break the law, you're gonna be punished. Shut up, paladin. But I'm right. Shut up.
That's funny.
All right, and in the same vein of fines, you also have paying for damages. Like you injure somebody, you pay for the treatment. You break some property, you fix it, or you pay for it to be repaired.
Yeah, and this can also kind of come in tandem with imprisonment and hard labor as well.
Yep.
Right, which is kind of fits in line with that. And the last thing is an edict. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay. The last thing is an edict, basically forbidding the suspect from using specific actions or doing something very particular. And a violation of that can result in any of the number of the previous things, a fine, an imprisonment, or even hard labor, which, once again, that's something I've never used.
Yeah. Actually, I kind of find ironic that edicts were mentioned because, as we established before, I was playing Tyranny, and you're basically, and especially in the opening sequence, playing as essentially the mouthpiece of the Emperor for this region, and he basically they're trying to reconquer this region because they're in rebellion, but the two main armies he had were scurrying around and not getting the job done, so they send you to whip everybody into shape.
Right.
But the Emperor also passed a magical edict which sealed the area. And part of the edict was, if you guys don't conquer this land within 8 days, we're blowing the entire freaking thing up, no matter who's in it. Including you.
That sounds like a Saiyan thing. I guess Saiyans would do that. Right? Maybe that's just me.
So there's some hardcore edicts right there.
Yeah. These are really powerful tools as a DM, in my opinion.
Yep.
Things you can leverage and use when you do get the quote unquote murder hobos, right? People who are pushing their weight around in villages and are just starting shit all the time, threaten to punch the noble in the face, There are crimes and punishments that they would have to deal with. It's not so simple as I'm an adventurer, I can do whatever the hell I want.
What if part of this edict is you get hit with a magical brand that actually magically keeps you out of the city?
Oh, shit. See, that would be really good for, like, the exiles and stuff. Like, you physically cannot come back in. There's a magical barrier that stops you. Ooh, I like that.
And actually, in order to stick, there was, like, the Rogan probably who was a murder hobo. And he actually was given a curse by some paladins. They're saying, okay, if you kill anybody within this city, the curse will go off, you'll become uber sick, and paralyzed and can't do crap.
They warn them ahead of time?
Yeah.
All the stuff? That's cool.
Yep. So which actually kind of backfired in a way because the city ended up being undergoing a huge siege by some enemies. He's like, I can't kill anyone because of this stupid curse. But then he accidentally fell outside of the walls, landed in the middle of the enemy. He's like, yes! I can kill stuff now!
That's funny. In the Dragon's Heist in the Dragon Heist book, they actually break the crimes down into categories. 4 different categories, if I'm not mistaken. You have crimes against lords, officials, and nobles, right?
Yep.
You have crimes against the city.
Yep.
And there's some interesting stuff I want to talk about there. You have crimes against the gods, which is pretty fantastic. And then you have crimes against citizens. So at first I didn't really understand the difference between crimes against the city and citizens, but they actually
do break it down
pretty good. So we're probably not going to go into in-depth in all of these. We're going to touch on a few that are interesting and that makes sense. And some of these fit to all categories. I know,
yeah.
Like the most common one that I think affects all categories is using magic to influence a lord or official without consent. How much do you think something like that would cost without looking at your notes?
A lot.
All right, don't all throw out a number at once.
Because, well, a lot's relative depending on...
1,000 gold pieces. That's a lot.
For a level of parts, like, 1,000 gold pieces! Hello, characters. Only 1,000? Okay.
Right. And that might come with the risk versus reward. That'll keep low level players from trying to do that shit. But you're right, it ain't gonna stop higher level players.
I actually think
could be a deterrent though.
Norway, for example, I believe when they hand out parking tickets, they actually bill you in accordance to what your income level is.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
So like if you like
if America did that, it would be a much better place.
Right. Like if your average Joe did, you're like, okay, you're fined $50 for this speeding ticket. If you're a multi-billionaire, you're like, okay, you're being fined $100,000 for this ticket.
Yeah, because I can just see a millionaire be like, making it fucking rain. Yeah, here, I'll just pay you in advance, and I'm just going to drive my Lambo at 100 miles an hour.
Until manslaughter occurs.
Yes, which undoubtedly they will get out of, because they always do. So when it comes to crimes against lords, officials, and nobles, what are some other punishments and for crimes and punishments that kind of fit against that? What are some more examples of crimes and punishments against lords and officials and nobles?
Assaulting or personally a lord. Sentence. Death.
So that's an interesting one, because it's not just assaulting, but it's impersonating. What is something that happens all the time in D&D?
The bard transforming into a dude and
bard, rogue, anybody, disguise kit. That's a very common thing. Once again, I don't think I've ever charged a player with impersonating somebody, because once they get found out, there should be some sort of punishment. I've I don't think I've ever done anything with that. Have you guys been in a game where you've tried to do something like that, or somebody has, and it got janked over by the DM? Be like, yeah, you've been found guilty of impersonating a noble.
I've impersonated being a noble, but not a specific noble.
Yeah. Well, the fact that this is a death punishment is huge.
But I get it at the same time too.
Yeah.
In society, if I remember that one game. Why am I not on the list? I am invited to this party. Why am I not on the list? I am a noble from this area. Well, if you're that big of a dick about it, he has to be a noble. That's kind of the reaction of the guy at the
Right,
gate.
right. Hey, welcome, Ed.
Hey there.
Yeah, so this really caught me off guard because, once again, this is something that happens in my games all the times. But I've never had a guard say, "Oh, you were impersonating Noble Joffrey. Time to fucking get your heads." Time to take you to the chopping block. Arrest this man. So now that person, especially at level 1, level 2, level 3, they are boned.
And then you have debate in the party, do we rescue him? Do we let him die? Because he did kind of sort of break the law, but at the same time we gotta need that guy for that one mission.
And see, and that becomes...
When we do that, then we're breaking the law, therefore.
And I think that could be something that could be rough on the players, because if they don't have a big attachment to that person, like, we'll go find somebody else. Like, because it may not be worth it for them trying to, skirt or trick the guards or bribe the guards, because there's a lot of risk involved.
Although that could open up some potential roleplay opportunity too. Where,
for sure.
Well, in the sense of, I can see someone going, I do need some work done, and you're about to be executed. So maybe if you do this favor for me, I might stay your execution. Just saying.
So that leads into a small side quest, which then could get you in more trouble, right?
Yep.
And speaking of assaulting or impersonating, it's also officials and nobles, which is a lighter punishment, but still. Is that supposed to be flogging?
What?
Flossing?
Where are you at?
Under assaults and impersonating of a lord.
Insulting or impersonating an official or noble.
I actually pointed at blackmailing, but that works.
I thought that was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Finish speaking on that point.
Yeah. Is that flossing or flogging?
It's flogging.
Flogging. Yeah.
How's the party, Ed? Share with us your wisdom.
Lucky.
Oh, great, buddy, Edward.
By the power of your beard, compel us to want to go there. I'm sad I didn't get to go.
That beard blacks bullets, man.
Bulletproof Ed. Anyways,
we got anywhere from flogging to imprisonment up to a 10-day.
For what?
That this is the assaulting or impersonating of an official or a noble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
And a fine of up to 500 gold pieces. Now, how long is a 10-day? I forget that.
A week.
1 week.
10 days. That's why it's called a 10-day.
We have an intergalactic week to respond. How the hell long is that?
Oh, Ed can't... Dude, I can't talk about it in chat.
No, he said, I can't just talk about it in chat.
Oh, you have to tell us during our next Patreon, pals. So the other thing that would come against that comes to mind when I think lords, officials, and nobles is blackmailing. So blackmailing an official comes with a punishment of flogging and exile up to 10 years. Once again, this is something that happens often, especially if you like to run a political intrigue game where they could easily be caught for this. And so how are you as the DM going to follow through with that? Whipping the shit out of those little bastards.
Yep. I can imagine some plot twists coming from trying to blackmail somebody. We know you're fooling around with his mistress. We're going to get out. You idiot! I only married my wife for political reasons. Taking a mistress was her idea. Cause kept me out of her bed.
That's funny. The thing I want to...
The sad part is during nobility, I can actually see that being done.
For sure. The interesting thing is the murder of a lord, official, or noble is in fact death. So once again, when you have those murder hobos, they might be strong as adventurers, but they can't take on entire armies.
Nope.
So once they're captured...
And Kevin, the same thing too. I think like most people envision like all the non-players that aren't monsters, like, oh, you're just some little zero farmer militiamen. Know how monsters exist in the world, so it stands to reason that law enforcement or military would have some pretty BA mofos as well.
Yeah. Well, and also number, right?
That too.
You can just overwhelm them. And obviously, if they're found guilty of blackmailing or murdering or something like that, if they avoid getting caught, they probably can't come back because now there's wanted posters everywhere, right, for what they've done. Which I can gradually see over time, like all those long rests that they take. We're gonna rest for a month, spreading to local villages and towns over time, which is pretty neat.
Like a disease.
So going into the second point, which was crimes against the city, what do you think? Brandon, what are some examples that come to mind to you when you think crimes against the city?
Arson.
That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Burning this motherfucker. Come on, Pookie, let's burn this motherfucker down.
So you might want to watch those fireballs when you do them.
Oh, thanks, Ed.
What's that?
He says that he promoted us.
Woohoo!
When appropriate. And he played 5 RPGs and 1 board game. He got to drink and hang out with Richard Baker.
That's dope.
Neat.
That's really cool, man. I am so jealous. I really wanted to go and hang out, but I'm with the cost of the book, and we're about to pay almost $300 for our website and hosting and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Alicia said she was going to pay you. I assume you guys didn't get paid yet.
Yeah, but I don't really care either.
Yeah, I did care, though. It's not much. More for you than him.
I'm waiting for that whole $1 to go into my PayPal.
I'll send you $1 or 3. But it's not much, but it's something. So I am hoping our book does really well. I really am.
I do too.
At the very least, make back the $400 I've invested.
That would be nice. How many sales will we need to do that technically?
100.
break
Actually, less than that. It'd be a little less than 100 because it's $5. We're selling it for 10, so we'll get half of that.
But how much do you actually need to break even?
$400. So that would be how many? 500. 100 is $500.
Yeah.
So less than that.
So 80.
80.
80 to break even.
There you go. 80 to break even. Anyways, so yeah, arson is a big thing that happens very regularly. Especially with fireball spell and firebolt and all that stuff. Those things light shit on fire, so start burning stuff and keep that in mind when somebody burns down a tavern. We've all been in a game where somebody's burned down the tavern, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to pay for that shit.
Do you know the differences between good, evil, and neutral parties are? A good party, when somebody tries to start a bar fight, will just get up and walk away. A neutral party will happily get involved in the bar fight. An evil party will walk out of the bar the door shut, then nuke the place down with a fireball.
I would love to see something where 2 guys get to a fist fight in a pub, and one throws one onto a table and it breaks. And the bartender says, "Oh, you're gonna have to pay for that." I'm like, but he threw me onto the table, and he goes, "Doesn't matter. The law of the land says last person to touch it."
So those are things that we've seen happen regularly. There's something else that happens in the cities all the time, Brandon. What do you think that is?
Brandishing weapons.
Did you know that's
without
against
due
the
cause.
law? That against the law without due cause, without a reason. Which means that leads up to imprisonment for up to a 10-day or a fine of 10 gold pieces just for drawing your weapon.
And or
drawing. Oh yeah, okay, I apologize. And or a fine. Just for drawing your weapon, which is something, once again, adventurers do all the time. So why are we as DMs not enforcing that? Is it because it's such a little thing? Or does it not add value, or does it add value?
I think to a degree it also might depend on where you are.
Well, this is a crimes against the city, so I would assume you're in a city.
I just meant generally speaking.
Yeah, like out in the middle. I mean, yeah, I suppose some people might be lighter on it than others, but especially with all the alcohol that goes around, I can definitely see why this would be a law.
Oh, great! Now picturing some uber legalistic city that has multiple guilds and everything must be filed through paperwork first before you actually do it. Oh, you wish to adventure? Well, did you first get a membership and license from the Adventurers Guild? What? You must go to the Adventurers Guild. You must submit a request to get a license filled out in triplicate. What?
Fucking bureaucracy.
You mentioned the arson. We didn't actually talk about some of the punishments that come with that. Depending on how severe it is, it could be death. It could be labor up to 1 year, and fines or damages up to to cover the costs plus 2,000 gold pieces. That's huge.
How much damage did you do? Yeah, 1,000 gold. Can I just give you 5,000 just to make this go away?
I think that would fall under bribing, right? Would that fall under bribing?
Bribery? Yeah.
Just make this disappear.
No. I mean, just pay you more money up front so the those who are duly compensated extra.
Okay. I gotcha.
Not trying to bribe the official.
Gotcha.
Can I just pay way more than what you're asking for just to not deal with this?
So they get down to some pretty good points. Forging of an official document is punishment by flogging or exile, up to 10 summers, which is insane. Once again, that's something that has happened numerous times in my games, and I've never thought, oh, they got caught. Well, shit, there should be a severe punishment for that. No, it's just like, this is a fake. Get out of here, fool. You know what I mean? I never thought you're arrested. So as a DM, this one little section in this book has really given me a lot to think about. They even go down to fucking littering. Like, it's 2 gold pieces and an edict. No littering no more, right? They're doing it to begin with. I've never really thought about the players littering. Like, I mean, has that ever been a thing?
Look, man, there's no toilet. They have to go, and there's an alley right there.
I mean, does corpses count as littering? Because I guess that's about it.
I think it counts as murder.
Yeah. So this was. There's one other thing that really stands out about this that I think has a very interesting punishment, and that's the poisoning of a city well.
Yeah, I can see how that could get some pretty harsh punishment there because people rely on this thing to survive.
What do you think it is?
Death.
It absolutely is death. So once again, to me that is a powerful tool, because I can see an entire noble espionage thing going on where one house is indicated in the poisoning of this well when in fact it was somebody else, and now the heroes have to kind of figure something like that out. So these are also really good tools for plot points and story elements. And so kind of moving on from that, there's a lot more options than we're discussing. We're just talking about some of the more interesting ones. The third point they have is crimes against gods.
Crimes against the church, crimes against religion, and note how it is very well established in the lore of D&D that the gods totally exist.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I've asked this probably on the show before. One of the crimes against the gods is tomb robbing. Is that not literally by definition the very thing that adventurers do?
Well, if they're raiding dungeons, that's definitely an option sometimes. Yeah,
it's tomb robbing, right? I mean,
grave robbing.
What tomb robbing, grave robbing? Whatever. I'm assuming they're the same.
Yeah.
At what point is it no longer tomb robbing and it's just adventuring for being an archaeologist? No, in seriousness, like who draws that line? They're like, oh, this shit is only 60 days old. That is definitely
grave robbing.
I was going to say archaeology, but I mean, who draws that line? Does it have to be like 1,000 years old before it's okay? That's all right. He went and robbed that guy who died long ago. Nobody cares.
Also, might be depending on how good of a lawyer you have.
I suppose. But it actually, the price isn't actually that bad. Imprisonment for up to 10 days and damages covering the cost of repairs and 500 gold plus 500 gold pieces.
If you send it to a museum, it's archaeology. If you take it for yourself, it's grave robbing.
Maybe that's the difference. What are some other crimes against the gods?
Disorderly conduct within the temple.
Oh shit! That's an everyday occurrence for adventurers, isn't it? Plus, then they're assuming that the father leading the temple is a bad guy.
Yep.
Pretty common, right? Starting fires, burning manuscripts and shit.
We also have
Hell, if you walk into a church and pelvic thrust towards a nun, you're probably going to get punished for it.
I'm pretty sure that falls under public blasphemy, doesn't it?
Probably.
Against a god or a church is an edict.
That is not at all how blasphemy is spelled.
Hey,
Blufferney. Blufferney.
Buffoonery?
That's a class you take to learn how to bluff.
Shut up. So blasphemy, that's only an edict though, but I can easily see a fine being tossed into that as well. And it wouldn't be a fine, it would be a generous donation to the church. Here is my tin bucket fillet, bitch. So there's some really good stuff on there.
Can I have a little copper?
Assaulting a priest or a lay worshiper leads to imprisonment or damages up to 500 gold pieces. And then really the last one of interest is crimes against the citizens. Now, we had crimes against the cities already. Now we got crimes against the citizens.
Against the common folk.
So, what do you think the most common one we've seen as D&D players is?
Assault.
Yes, very much. Assaulting a citizen. Its punishments include things like imprisonment up to a 10-day, a flogging, and damages up to 1,000 gold pieces. 1,000 gold pieces for kicking that farmer in their nuts for being a dick. Like that just blows my mind.
You assaulted that waiter. Look, I told him the soup tasted bad, so I dumped salt on his head.
Assaulted.
Oh my
That's
God.
terrible. That's a good dad joke. I like that. So this, because its damages up to 1,000 gold pieces and flogging, that to me shows that even the weakest of the citizens has a lot of power over the heroes.
Yep.
At level 1, heroes are gonna push their weight around all the time. Level 2, level 3, 1,000 gold is a hefty price. If you can't pay it, you end up in prison. I mean,
Yep.
that's once again.
God, that would tie in for an awesome encounter. Based on what we're talking about right now,
Uh-huh.
all of the adventurers are sleeping, and a citizen, farmer, market person, whatever, comes up, takes some of his goods, and puts it in their bags, and the next day claims that they stole his shit so he can get gold from it.
Shit. That is baller. I like that.
So it's like,
Oh my god, that would be a real dick thing to
when
do.
you said citizens
they're
have
the-
just as much power over the adventurers as everyone else, I'm like, what kind of power would they have? Oh my god, that would be bad.
Well, if the players were addicted to the farmer, I can see him. He's not get revenge.
Just open your bag. Whose shit is this?
What are some other crimes against citizens?
By damaging property or livestock.
That's another one. What is that? What is the cost of something like that?
Covering the cost of damages, repairs, or replacement up to 500 gold pieces.
That's
500.
so. This is something that they focus on livestock here, and I think
Yep.
that's interesting.
Yep.
Because livestock is the life of a farmer.
Oh yeah.
And if you just go around willy-nilly, oh man, I only need 3 experience to level up. Fucking, I'm gonna stab that boar in that guy's property.
I remember there was one GURPS game
That has
where
actually happened in one
part
of
of
my games.
a adventure one time was a farmer's flock of sheep got stolen. And I can't remember this completely right, but we tracked down some goblin tracks to a tower. And one player apparently decided to go, you know what? All those goblins are up at the top of the tower. I'm going to take care of this now. He conjured up a massive fireball spell, threw it up in the air, came down, hit the top of the tower, and basically torched all the goblins. Like, okay, we now have a safe entrance. They scaled the tower so they could work away from the top down.
Uh-huh.
But when they got there, they saw a flock of torched sheep. And it happened to like goblins.
The fireball comes and hits the top of the tower, and you hear.
Okay. And there's like one.
That's a weird sound for a
And
goblin.
there's like one ran off and going. He was like shell shocked. I think we may have screwed this one up.
So,
You
there's a
get
cou-
the idea.
I do. There's a couple other points here I want to touch on, and 2 of them are relatively related. Murdering a citizen without justification. You know what the punishment for that is?
Death.
Death or hard labor up to 10 years, and damages up to 1,000 gold pieces to be paid to the victim's kin. Now, the one that's right next to that one is murdering a citizen with justification. That's not nearly as bad, but it's still exile up to 5 years or hard labor up to 3 years and damages up to 1,000 gold pieces. So either way, you're out 1,000 gold pieces.
It was self-defense, okay?
Yeah, so once again, this is something that should come up far more often in a game than I actually think it does. So I have a question for you guys.
Yep.
If you're a player,
Yep.
and you do a dick move and you stab a villager for whatever reason, and the guards came to arrest you for this, how would you as a player and as a character react to a situation like that?
So, what's my move speed?
What's my
Gonna
movement
run
speed?
away? Okay, so we got Ian's gonna run away, so he'll probably never be able to come back, right? What about you?
Should I assume that they saw me do it?
Well, they obviously know you did it for whatever reason. I'm not going to sit here and try to come up with something, but they obviously know you did it.
Sorry.
You'd apologize? Do you have 1,000 gold pieces? Let's assume you don't.
What level am I?
Level 2.
What's my movement speed? That's the thing they think of.
Better question. What's the move speed of the slowest guy in the party?
Just trip your friend.
You think you can outrun a bear? I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
So
I'm a rogue, so I can do it.
the reason I brought that up is because if you did something like that and the guards found you, would you be mad at the DM for arresting your character for 10 years? Or would you just roll up another character and be on your way?
Got a coin flip on that one, really.
You think so?
I think I'd be a little pissed off at first until it gets explained to me.
I would think
You
the
just
biggest.
did something wrong.
I would think the biggest thing though is during session 0, establish there are laws in the villages. There are consequences for your actions.
I mean, how did
Yes.
Amber feel when Boulder got arrested?
I don't know. You should ask her. I haven't
But-
talked to her in like 3 years.
Well, do you get what I'm saying too?
Yeah, no, I totally understand
Yeah.
you. But see, to me, that expectation should already be there.
But how many games did you play where you did crap and there were no consequences?
See
So
that,
quite a few.
but that argument, by that argument, I would say that every adventure, or every encounter I run is different from the previous. So
Sure, but you get what I'm
there's an
coming
extra.
from,
Yeah, I understand, but I think that I also think that as a player, and maybe the DM does need to say that, is there are consequences for your actions. There are laws, and you're expected to abide by them. And that's not me trying to control you. That's what makes the world alive, right?
Mhm.
Because everybody's got to abide by that. If you see a group of soldiers grabbing a thief and dragging him over to the chopping block and lopping off a hand,
Mhm.
I think you'll be the player themselves would think a little more cautiously about stealing something from a cart. You know what I mean?
I think it'd be hilarious.
Oh,
It's,
great.
You got a DM running a campaign, and they get a hold of this book.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I met my wife, Ed.
What, by making noises like your mating call?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay, that's funny.
I don't know why,
She-
but I briefly flash back to that one bureaucracy thing I mentioned.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have my paperwork fill out and trouble to get a license from the Adventurers Guild. Okay, your paperwork seems to be in order. Wait a second, I don't see a stamp. What do you mean? This paper was not filled out by the Scribes Guild. What?
What were you gonna say, Brandon?
Oh, right. Oh, you got a DM who's been DMing a campaign for a year or two or whatever.
Sorry.
You got a DM who's been campaigning for a year or two, and he finally gets a hold of his book, and he decides that he comes up to his players, his guards come up and be like, "So, you guys have been around for a year, and you have some retroactive laws that you've broken."
Oh, no. Now that you've robbed that tomb, and I know you're loaded, time to pay up.
So you got grave robbing, you stabbed 14 citizens.
Oh my god. How awesome would that be as a player? I just thought of an awesome character concept. Your character concept, he's a bounty hunter, and he's just tallying up every crime that they do along the way so he can get half of the cut. And then, by the way, excuse me, sir, and unrolls like 6 feet. These are all the crimes you guys are being charged with, and I, as the witness, can prove it. Zone of truth. Did you do all this? Yes. I want my cut. That would be hilarious. That'd be a hilarious turnover. Anyways, so there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of laws in the land that the Dragon Heist book goes into, and I believe that it is a must-have for any DM. I think there's a lot of stuff that goes into running the land that we as DMs and as players overlook. And the question that always comes is, how do I deal with murder hobos? Here are the rules for that. When they do this shit, punish them, kick them in prison, roll a new character, your guy's in prison for 10 years.
Great, now think about that. At the end of the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie when about the hanged Jack Sparrow, and they're reading off his very long list of crimes.
Yes.
And how he took a couple of them when they're mentioned.
Right.
Oh, I remember that one, yeah.
Crimes for impersonating a priest.
So I can't recommend this this book enough. The adventure is amazing. We have a link at our website at critacademy.com. or you can find a link to the book in our show notes. Like I said earlier, it will be through our Amazon affiliate link, and then it is on sale as of this recording. So
Nice.
definitely check that out.
I am from the Adventurers Union. You just can't charge me. What?
So that'll do it for our main topic today, the laws of the land, right from Dragon's Heist.
I just realized something.
Fucking nasty, dude.
Isn't a guild basically a union?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I never made that connection before until just now.
Oh God. I am suffering for
Fuck,
you, asshole.
dude. You're gassing us, man. You're all up. Oh, fucking nasty.
I'm getting high. That's pretty bad.
There's one other thing I wanted to touch on. Flogging.
Flogging.
How would you make flogging in a game with HP seem serious?
Ooh. Give him exhaustion.
Nailed it. That's exactly where I was going. I think exhaustion is a great mechanic for that because it's not something you can recover from easily. I would say if you're going to flog them within an inch of their life, fuck, dude.
They have 5 levels.
I'm so sorry.
They'll have 5 levels of exhaustion when they're done.
Yeah, and so they're out of for their flogging. They're out of play for a while.
For almost a week.
Yeah, so you while everyone else is venturing, you can roll up another character and they can temporarily fill in with a hired hitman or something. You know, so that's a good way to deal with those murder hobos and stuff like that. So I think that's awesome. Before we move on to our fourth and final segment, we want to take a minute to let you guys know that we have a Patreon. Patreon is a membership platform that allows creators to build relationship with their most loyal fans, known as patrons. It is a tier-based reward system that allows you to support your favorite creators for as little as $1 a month. Do you think our show is worth $1 a month? That's what, 4 hour-and-a-half to 2 hour episodes every month. That's a lot of content. There's a lot of work. I know it doesn't seem like it, but there's a lot of work that goes into all this stuff.
I buy that for $1.
So if you think our show's worth at least $1, please help us out there, or pick up one of the higher tiers. You can also pick a T-shirt up from our swag section.
They're nice T-shirts.
Yeah.
I remember one of our patrons actually bought a T-shirt once, and he flew that nerd flag all over Facebook.
Oh yeah, he did. Took some pictures and everything. A couple of them did.
Yeah.
The other thing is you can Brandon accepts commissions, I think. They're fully colored art for $20 or line art for $8, so check those out. And then, of course, the best way to support us, Jeff Stevens is currently a sponsor, so go to critacademy.com/Jeff-Stevens and just purchase one of his products. That helps.
Well, the best way to help us out is to just directly give us money.
Yes. Well, you want to know
Give me
something?
money, give me money,
I
give
feel
me
like
money,
if
give
we
me
get
money.
enough, if we can get enough if we get our sponsors and people buy their product, they'll keep giving
Sponsoring.
us. Yes.
That's
It's
okay.
easier to say, "Hey, buy this for $3," and then get $50 from a sponsor or $100.
There's
from
the
a sponsor.
reason why the TV industry is based off of ads.
Yes. Because to me, anyways,
Although, do you know how freaked out?
logistics.
Although, do you know how freaked out I was when I went to I was watching a show in Crackle.
Crackle.
It's a streaming site.
Craggle.
It's free, but they put in ads in there, and I'm just sitting there watching Supermatchin, and suddenly an ad for Hurley Hospital in Flint showed up on my stream. What the heck is this?
They're watching you. What's this thing say? I can't see it from all the way over here.
But you get the idea. It's I just got a region-specific ad because
Yeah,
they know where I
'cause they know where
live.
you live. Yeah.
This is a 1984 crap, man.
Yeah. That was 1984. What?
I'm referring to the book.
Oh.
Neat.
And Ed's like, yeah, and I do, and look what it gets me. Well, we appreciate your commitment to our show.
Beard jokes. It gets you beard jokes.
You missed it. Quick shout out to you, Ed. For our 1 year or our 100th episode, I should be announcing that everyone can purchase our UTT book
And everyone gets a pony.
if everything goes right. Shh. I'm keeping that on the DL right now, but I'm hoping.
God damn it.
What?
I can't make a TikTok where you say I'm keeping that on the DL because everyone's going to see it.
Oh, no. Yeah. You want to try again?
It's a shame, Vermin Supreme.
Hey, what's going on, Crit Nation? I'm your host, Justin, of the podcast Crit Academy. We're excited because we're going to have a live episode for all viewers coming up this Sunday on the November 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern. come check us out. We got a special surprise announcement that we're super stoked about, and we'd love to share it with you. Why are you such a dick about it?
Do you know who you're talking to?
Yeah. Fucking ponytail dick over here.
Oh, fuck you.
And this is why our show's very mature.
Yeah. So before we move on to our and we have, god damn it, what are you doing? Are you videotaping me still?
I was mocking you.
Oh, you're fucking dickhead. We have one more gift to give away, compliments of Loresmith. Brandon, who's our winner today?
Our winner for Loresmith's prize this week is Caddis. Hey, there you go. You win a prize.
Dude, I got an email from somebody the other day, or a text message from this website. I found you on TikTok. I'm like, I'm not on TikTok. It was your video. Oh god, it's funny because nobody else can hear the music.
Yeah.
I forgot no one can hear the music because we got the headphones on.
Congratulations, Cadis. We hope you enjoy the adventure. If you did, please leave Loresmith a review and let him know what you like and what you didn't like.
Fuck your D20.
I will whip your ass, boy. I will grab you by that ponytail and drag your punk ass out to my yard and shove your face into a pile of dog shit.
Eat a dick.
I believe that would count against the crime against citizens.
How dare you throw our topic back in my face?
Imprisonment up to a 10-day, flogging, and damages up to 1,000 gold pieces.
Shit. I don't have any gold pieces. My wife took it all.
Oh, I need one for next year.
All right, so our...
I'm actually surprised to say, shut up, Paladin!
I don't get that. Justin would fall asleep, and you, Brandon, you would fall in love. I am make you a great munchkin. How much have you been drinking?
He's probably got his glasses on with his beard pulled all the way up and he's sticking the bottle right through it.
I guess I am telling that.
You know, we sit here blasting him, and he's over there laughing because I'm here and you're not.
Yeah.
I think he actually pays us to insult him half the time.
He pays to insult us, and I'm okay with that. Shit. Where am I at? All right, so our first Unearthed tips and trick is our character concept. This comes from our buddy Luke. We titled it The Stitcher. In this character's spare time, they truly enjoy stitching, whether it's clothing, dolls, or bags, or something. They're always keeping their hands busy by stitching something together. To the point that it's almost an OCD condition when he's not stabbing something, or pretty much when he's just not stabbing something, he's stitching something together. Maybe he's got a cloak on his back that's like a half-made blanket that he's just stitching as he's walking around. Did you ever watch Bleach, the anime?
Yeah.
One of the characters there is like a mad skilled stitcher. The bow and arrow guy? What's his name?
Oh, Uryu?
Yeah, he does that. He does the stitching in his spare time.
Oh yeah, he does.
It's pretty dope.
I forgot about that.
And the more I thought about this when he was playing this character, the more I thought how cool it would be to be a healer class and reflavor the effects of the spells. So let's say the player takes psychic damage, and the healer chants a spell, and they grab the top of the person's head, and this like spectral skull opens up, and they like are doing like a spectral stitch with these magical needles and needle and thread as they're stitching the person's psychic wounds back together and then closing it back up.
I forgot he thinks my Irish staging is an insult to leprechauns. Tater.
I agree.
You're not wrong.
They'd always be after me Lucky Charms. But anyways, and so I thought that this was really cool. And the same thing could go for open wounds. If he's got like a spectral needle and thread that he's stitching when it's just a reflavoring of the cure wounds. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about that?
Some phantom thread.
It's sexy.
It is sexy. It's really cool.
Yeah, they like the thread glows. This pulsating purple. And oh man, it's hard to describe what I'm thinking of.
Use words. Makes it easier.
It's because it's a skin that I saw on one of the Smite gods, and that's what I'm thinking of. It's a very galactic look.
All right, Ed. Thank you for stopping by and joining us.
Indeed. Tater. Okay, where are we at?
So yeah, I really like this concept. I think it would work great as a healer build. At the very least, if you play a character who's all about helping the needy, and you're just walking around stitching around little dolls for girls, that would be glorious. Or the dolls you stitch together could be of your most recent kill, right? Like some voodoo level shit.
I just basically flashed back to a meme that went around for a while, and the subtitle was, "And they said my 18 points of skills in sewing would be useless." And they showed a necromancer wearing his enemy's faces as a cloak.
What am I looking at?
That's how many views our hashtag's gotten.
Like on...
Since I put that out.
What is it? I don't see what I'm looking at.
That's the D20 that I threw up and I started thrusting my hips back and forth last week.
Yeah, I know that, but what are they liking?
It's not what they're liking. That I own the hashtag Crit Academy.
You own it?
On TikTok. Yeah.
Oh, that is fucking dope, bro.
And
we need to use that. We need to use that to do like fucking...
And that hashtag's been viewed 4.1 thousand times.
Nice.
That's pretty dope. We'll have to do some like
shit.
DM tips and player tips on that shit. Just regurgitate some of the shit we've already done. Anyways, so that'll do it for our character. So that'll do it for our character concept, the Stitcher. Thanks, Luke, for your submission. Brandon, do you want to take our monster variant today?
Fine. I'll take the monster variant, and it's called the Snatching Manticore.
I almost called it the Snatch.
Snatch.
I realized later that wasn't a very good idea.
No. The origin, of course, comes from the Manticore. It's got new features, which is flyby. The Manticore doesn't provoke an op attack when it flies out of an enemy's reach.
Which is something that is missing from a lot of monsters.
Also useful for making a guy in the raid on her spill coffee.
I'd like to point out that while Ed said he was leaving, he certainly did not miss Snatch.
Snatch.
I guess at that age, you got to catch it wherever you can.
So it's like, yeah, these guys, they're critic characters. We got Ian, Justin, and Brett. They just said Snatch. Hold up. I'll explain more in a second. No, they're just fucking off now. Okay, so... All right, another thing we got here for the Snatching Manticore. We got Swoop. If the Manticore flies at least 30 feet and hits a medium or smaller creature with its claws attack, the target is grappled. Its escape DC is 13. And restrained while the Manticore flies upward with it at half its speed. And I can just see where it's going.
Yeah.
If a drop target strikes a solid surface, the target is knocked prone and then takes 3 or 1d6 bludgeoning damage for every 10 feet it was dropped. Every 10 feet.
That's up. Let me go. Wait, no.
Are you sure?
If the target is dropped at another creature, that creature must succeed on a DC 13 dexterity saving throw or take the same damage and be knocked prone.
All right.
He's falling. Get the fuck out of the way.
So what do you guys think about this?
That's hilarious.
I mean, every monster movie I've ever seen with a flying creature, they swoop down, they grab people, and then they fling them into other enemies or into walls. And this is a good way to kind of get that feeling across without really making the to get that feeling across and make the combat far more dynamic. Because no longer is it just fighting them on the ground or it from a distance and shoot it with a bow. It's gonna swoop in, fucking grab your ass, and fly off with you.
It says I would not touch that Snatch.
It's got barbs on it.
And what makes the creature even more interesting is that this is an actual mechanic that's used in real life. I've watched birds do this. When I was in the Navy, I'd watch a seagull pick up a crab, fly, and just
drop
them.
I've watched videos of deck eagles diving down, grabbing mountain goats outside of cliffs, dragging them around, and dropping them off cliffs.
Just throw them off. Nah.
No, I think you can really lead into this too as a good encounter, because you could have a farmer who's complaining that he's finding, his goats are disappearing or his sheep are disappearing, or he finds like blood splatters all around his, outside of his property.
I think it might be aliens, but I'm not sure.
And I think that would be a good indicator of what it does, because otherwise, why would you have blood splatters everywhere, right? And could give the players a subtle heads up of what to expect ahead of time. And if they can pick up on that, they might be a little more prepared for it. Because really, it's hard to deal with a character that doesn't provoke op attacks.
Yeah.
It revolves around either having range to hit it no matter where it goes, or readying your action. And honestly, players aren't always smart enough to go right to I ready my action from to get within range, you know?
Right.
That doesn't happen as much. Everyone knows that strategy. Everyone's aware of it, but very few actually use it. So I really enjoy this one. So that'll do it for our monster variant, the Snatching Manticore.
Now for the encounter of the podcast. This land is my land.
And it's made for you and me.
From California to the New York Islands.
Two local farmers are having a dispute about who owns the rights to a plot of land where a small cave was discovered by the farmer's children. The children were struck with an illness while in the cave. However, the farmers learned the cave was full of poisonous gas as well as a crap ton of gold to be mined. Lots of gold, oh yeah, lots of money there. The two farmers are doing whatever they can in order to ensure that they have the rights to this small cave. This may or may not include some briberies, forgeries of some papers, and maybe even threat to family war. Go all Hackfields and McCoys on each other, if you know what I mean. The heroes are hired by one side to settle the claim to the land and clear the poison from their here cave.
That was really good.
Thank you.
What do you guys think about that?
Clear the poison, mine the gold, and leave.
Ha!
Okay. Thanks for that, Dick. So there's a couple points that are in here that we've been discussing since we started.
Ooh, plot twist. You actually do the paperwork to figure out what's going on here, and you actually find out the other guy, the one who did not hire you, actually is the legal of the land.
Or neither of them own it, and you can fill out the paperwork to claim the land. Brandon.
Yeah.
Or the land actually is for sale, but I forgot about it. So...
Take samples. Find out if the poisonous gas is flammable. If it is, throw a torch.
But all in seriousness, this sort of encounter revolves more of a little more subtle tactics. It's not necessarily a monster that needs to be countered. There needs to be a cure that needs to be identified. You need to figure out what the source is. Maybe it is a monster, maybe it's not. But more importantly, figuring out who actually owns the property. And that comes in the form of paperwork and money changing hands.
Oh crap, what this means? We gotta go into that town with all the guilds. Gotta do all that paperwork. First, we gotta get to the scribes guild to fill out all the paperwork, so we can then go to the town hall, so we can then pay the clerk to look at the paperwork, who then must go through then go to the archivist. Oh man, that's one big headache. This will take forever.
It's like, we'll just go take this hunt over here to hunt this monster down.
God, there's nothing worse than putting something like a real life DMV into the game of D&D.
Did you see that picture of this one guy in DMV who actually cosplayed as a sloth for Halloween?
Yes, I was laughing my head off.
I've not seen that, but that sounds awesome.
He plays as Zootopia's Flash. Yeah,
Nick.
it's pretty dope. But anyways,
Even taking a shot requires paperwork.
If you follow along with what we were talking about with the laws of land, this could lead into them doing some sketchy stuff in order to get what they need done, which then once again has a chance of failure, leading to arrests and bills and shit.
Shit's even funnier.
So, all right, that'll do it for our encounter of the podcast. Brandon, would you like to do our magic item of the podcast from Jeff Stevens, The Madhouse of Tasha's Kiss?
Madhouse of Tasha's Kiss.
Yep.
This magic item comes from Jeff. God damn it! Why?
Even though I expect it, it's just awesome.
This magic item comes from Jeff Stevens, The Madhouse of Tasha's Kiss, coincidentally called Tasha's Singing Sword. Yeah. It is a short sword and is very rare. You gain +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls using the short sword. The short sword deals an additional 1d4 thunder damage on a successful hit.
Ho 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 ho.
While in the possession of a creature, the sword hums a melody the creature finds soothing or inspiring. Only the creature in possession of the weapon can hear the music.
Do you hear something?
El problemo. When used in combat, the sword sings loudly, breaking out into a massive chorus of multiple voices. The emeralds in the hilt light up, pulsing with the rhythm of the song.
It's a rave blade, man.
La 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 la.
You
I was thinking mariachi, personally.
You unsheath that shit in battle, it's like...
The system is down. The system is down.
God, we're old because that shit's so old, you guys. Like our high school age old. Middle school, maybe. High school?
High school.
We did not put it.
No, that should
The cheat is grounded.
We did not put a switch for you through raves. We put it there so you could turn the lights on and off.
So what do you guys think about this?
Good stuff.
I think it's pretty. I do. Where it
What?
says that
Or
the sword breaks out into a very loud, massive chorus.
Yes.
Multiple voices. Is that still only heard by the wielder?
No, I don't believe so. I think everybody hears that.
Oh man, what if I starts playing the hamster dance?
You unsheath the sword. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Like a thief sneaking up.
That would suck.
The thief sneaking up, draws his blade out. Shing. Oh, we're here to kill you, to kill you. We're gonna kill you now.
You can't stop him. He's
a juggernaut. Oh my god. Hey Jeff, I love this weapon. I think this is dope. And I can't wait to use it in my games.
The sword sings your theme song as you enter combat.
Oh my god! The juggernaut! I knew that was you! I should have worn my white pants.
Oh god.
I'm gonna rip you in half now.
That's totally something the juggernaut would say.
Anyways, Jeff Stevens, thank you very much for this. If you guys not checked out the Madhouse of Tasha's Kiss, you need to. You can find a link at critacademy.com/Jeff-Stevens. He's got many cool toys inside this adventure, and the story is just awesome. That'll do it for our magic item. Our Dungeon Master tip of the podcast comes from Twitter at PinkDiceGM. In recent games, I require players to write 5 rumors related to the character's reputation. 2 good, 2 bad, 1 false. I later pass these out to the other players as things their PCs would have overheard, and it spawns great early roleplay.
I think that's awesome. It's actually hilarious.
I heard this guy had sex with a goat.
Well, what's interesting is...
Really? Because I heard he effed up a
he
goat.
just looks like, that's a false statement.
Or...
it's like Cole's looking back
It's
and forth.
totally true.
Or... you write the 2 good ones, but the 2 bad ones are different versions of the exact same story.
I was reading something and wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry, what?
What if you write the 2 good ones, but the 2 bad rumors are the same, are different versions of the exact same story?
Oh, it's just different point of view.
I heard he effed up a bandit leader. I heard he effed the bandit leader.
That's funny.
I just give you an idea.
I like that. That's really cool.
Was the bandit leader a woman? Does it? I don't know.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I heard this guy conquered lands. Is he known as a conqueror? No. I heard that he raided many enemies and stole their gold. Is he known as a raider? No. But just 1 sheep.
I was drunk that night. So I really like this because if you guys know me, before when we do the start a campaign, we do the group bonding, tell me how you know this person. This is a really cool thing because not only does it give people insight into your character, but it can mislead them into your character too. Like if it's a bad piece of information, like, you are the murderer of your entire clan, how would the person that receives that react to that? Knowing that they might be the only person that knows that you are, in fact, the person who slaughtered your entire clan.
Great. I'm now thinking about like that one courtroom scene from The Men Who Stared at Goats. Mm-hmm. This man is charged for hiring hookers for his men. That's a lie! He is also being charged for bringing narcotic hallucinogens for his troops. That's up! The hookers were a lie.
Okay. And I like this because anytime you can give opportunity for the other players to know something about the players but not be sure if it's true or not, because it's a rumor, right? We, as a players, we know that we wrote down 2 good, 2 bad, and 1 false. But as the players and as the characters, you're not going to know if that rumor is true or not, which then can lead to speculation and talking amongst the other party about it. So I really think this is cool. I think this is a great way to build on character development and help build on interactions between the different characters. So
Yeah, there you go. That's fine. LOL, sorry, turned over a new leaf and Brandon is now my target. LOL.
I ain't gonna complain. I could use a break. My back is hurting from all this carrying of the show. I'm gonna put some Bengay on that shit. So that'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip of the podcast. Oh, I didn't give it a name. That'll do it for our That'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip of the podcast. 5 rumors from @PinkDiceGM on Twitter.
Wait. The rumor mill.
That'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip of the podcast. The rumor mill from @PinkDiceGM. Thank you for that. That was really good.
He says that was new target and he goes straight back to you. He spells Bengay as KY.
That's funny. I really like that stuff. It works well. Yeah. Bengay, and KY. But they have different uses when I'm rubbing them on.
Yeah, I remember hearing about one time though, where one game once mixed up the icy hot.
Oh my god. That's a nightmare. How's it feel? Oh, it's hot. I'm hot. Oh my god, it's on fire!
It burns so much.
Yeah, I have that effect, baby. Alright, so moving on to our final tip, we have our player tip. Moving on to our player tip. Don't be a dick. And you can avoid dickitude by conceding to the DM. It's okay to disagree with your DM. To a point. When the DM makes a ruling and you're not happy with it, make your point, but try not to get angry or upset or heated during it. In most cases, the DMs are flexible enough that they will come to some sort of agreement, but it's important to understand that D&D 5e is very abstract by its very nature, especially compared to previous editions. Thus, a debate can arise much more frequently than in previous editions. As we know, not everyone's vision of what's going on, especially when you're doing theater of the mind, is always 100% match, which can create kind of a little bit of variation in what we expect. And because of that, it's easy to say, well, I thought this, or I did this because I thought this, and lead to an argument or have a rules interpretation issue. A large argument can really ruin the experience for all the other people at the table while you're two bickering back and forth. If the DM doesn't agree to a change in a ruling, just accept it and move on. It's better for the game. It's better for the environment. After the game, feel free to air your grievances, but for the most part, just let it go, like Elsa, because sometimes it's not worth the amount of lost time that goes into those.
I think a good example of this is there's one time where I was running back at the store an Adventures League game, and one player decided to cast Smoke Cloud. I'm like, okay, and I drew it on the map as a square. He's like, wait a second, the rule set is a radius this big. Yeah, and it should be a circle. Well, we're playing on a grid map, so it's a square.
And he got all bent out of shape about it?
Yeah, he did.
See, that's the sort of shit, just like set it and forget it, man, like the oven, dude.
And if you actually look at Xanathar's guide, it would actually back me up on that.
Oh, does it? Yeah, because I don't think they draw circles.
No, and I remember like a few times too where people tried to make circles, but I'm like, isn't that with like a grid you can buy to shape stuff out? I'm like, yeah, but did you buy that for Pathfinder? Yeah, so you shouldn't be using that then. Well, why not? Because Pathfinder double counts every other diagonal. So that's going to change how you measure it out.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't bother with that shit no more, because that's just too confusing. It's a fucking radius, man. It's a circle. I don't care.
And on a square grid, it's gonna make a square.
Yeah, and that's why I just avoid the grid altogether now.
Now, granted, a lot of that for me...
No circles!
Now, granted, for me, though, a lot of that comes from the fact that I played 4th edition, where they drew everything in squares.
Yeah.
But you get the point.
Yeah. What do you think about this tip, Brandon? It doesn't matter. I'm just kidding.
I think this is a great tip because there's been plenty of cases I've been in where the entire storyline has been dragged down to a grinding halt because two people are arguing about shit.
Can I guess who it is? Me and Troy.
Yeah, that's one. But
Yep. Although another example too, though, is there was one point where I was playing Starfinder at Dragon Con, and I knew on my next turn I was planning on throwing a grenade, which people don't use too often sometimes, just because you have to pay money for each one.
Right.
And because I don't use them very often, I flipped over to the grenade section and read the paragraph that described how they worked 3 times before it was my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I throw a grenade. Okay, what's the modifier? It's this. That's way too high. No, not according to this paragraph.
Right. And sometimes it's as simple as that. Even I make those mistakes. Hey, can you read it for me to make sure I know? Because I haven't, as a DM, I haven't memorized everything. I haven't barely memorized my name. So.
And then you
make
see how thick that Starfinder book is.
Oh God, yeah.
You get the point.
He says, "Please edit the actual. It doesn't matter." And at that point,
That's fair.
So, anyways, I really like this tip, and I think it's got a lot of value to it. We've talked about something similar, but I don't think we had anything concrete in our UTTs. So that'll do it for our player tip of the podcast. Don't
be a dick.
Oh, you guys missed the cue. And that'll do it for our podcast.
don't be a dick.
It's actually a player tip. I don't know why I said podcast. And that'll do it for our player tip.
Don't be a dick.
And you can avoid dickitude by conceding to the DM.
Or argue it right.
Well, and the whole point is even if you are right, just deal with it for now and then bitch about it later. Because you don't want to. It's one thing to waste my time and your time. It's something else to waste everybody else's time.
Shoot, I remember one time where a player was arguing about how charge worked in 4th edition, and the guys are like, that's not how it works. Yes, it is. No, I'm reading the book right now. Hear this paragraph. Here's the paragraph out loud. Well, it's wrong. You tell me the rule book's wrong. Yes. Okay.
Before
I've seen that.
before we close out, we have one more gift to give away. Compliments of Jeff Stevens. Ian, who's our winner today?
And Brancy.
I think
That's Bracy.
Yeah.
And Bracy. And Bracy.
I like this. Some good music.
Why is this without a roof?
Congratulations. So, congratulations, Ann Bracy. If you enjoyed the adventure, please head on over and leave Jeff Stevens a review. Every review helps improve their product as well as helps get it noticed by other people. So, you're definitely doing a good service for the creators when you leave a review.
That guy look like leprechauns in a porno.
How do you know what leprechauns in a porno look like?
Do you really want the question answered?
Well, you know what? That would explain a lot about Ed. It really would.
And he is former Navy, just saying.
Join the Navy, just take a boat out to the find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So please join. That'll do it for our show today. Please join us on our next episode where we hear feedback from you, our heroes. We will be doing our class analysis on Matthew Mercer's Blood Hunter.
Blood Hunter.
You're welcome, Matthew. Well, that's a different Matthew. I guess that doesn't make as much sense. Matthew's been asking about this for months.
Matthew's been asking about a lot of things for months.
That's true. I ignore most of it. This is the one thing that stuck, but it's because I was already going to do it.
Take no. Aim high. United States Air Force. Brandon is Navy. He made ship flicks.
I think he just gave you a digital shapap.
I don't know how that works very well because, I mean...
He flies and you swim?
I think he's saying he's above you.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I get
above
it.
him because it takes me 3 years to make what he would make in 9 years.
What?
Huh.
In pay?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, dude.
It'll
The gauntlet has been thrown.
it'll take me 3 years to make E4. It will take someone in the Air Force a lot longer. So,
Anyway,
you want to make money, go to the Navy.
So, Blood Hunter.
Not totally true. Yes, if you put your knee pads on and get under the desk, you can get because they're faster.
You know, I'm sure if Ed wanted your lip, he would unzip his pants, okay?
Don't defend that shit.
Are you sure you want to say that? We saw his baby picture.
Oh, yeah, fucking...
You fucking me six.
All right, so So join us for that. I'm really excited to go through this. I'm a fan of Critical Role. I say that even though I'm only like 30 episodes into the whole series, which is just crazy long. But
That's why I never actually got into it.
yeah, it's long.
Because each episode is 2 hours long. There's a crap ton of episodes.
I'm sorry, what?
I have not got into the show because it's so freaking long. Each episode is at least a few hours, and just
They're like 4-hour long episodes. It's crazy. Like
I rest my case.
Takes me like a month to get through one. Anyways,
You are arguing my point for me.
yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. I was like, it's way worse than that. If you have any feedback, Unearthed tips and tricks, or topics you'd like us to discuss, please send them to us. You can email them to us at critacademy@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Crit Academy.
Ow. We hope you've enjoyed your experience here at the Crit Academy. If you did, you can help others find the show by leaving a hopefully 5-star review on iTunes or platform of your choice, or just send us a message telling us how much you enjoy the show.
I got one of those recently, and it was awesome.
Did you feel warm and fuzzy inside?
I did, and my genitals tickled a little bit. It was fantastic.
So that one viewer and his mother should be happy about that then.
Yeah, that review still makes me laugh my head off. Also, be sure to give us a like and a share.
Make sure to subscribe to our show at critacademy.com so we can help you on your future adventures, as well as a chance to win cool prizes each and every week. You will also find links to our fellowship members there as well, and we have lots of very nice fellowship members, the best.
They're the most tremendous. They're the bigliest, the bestest around. We only have the best of fellowship members. Nobody has better fellowship members than us.
China.
Definitely check them out. If you haven't listened to D&D Character Lab, Garen and Dan do amazing work. They make characters every single week and argue the validity in game. And Jeff and Gabe do an awesome show where they answer your questions to help bring you the best tabletop experience possible.
That made me think of the meme online where like, you came up with a great character idea. Realize that you're always going to be the DM. Kill my players with the character.
Also, I'm going to add this part. If you enjoy our Unearthed tips and tricks, our book now is available as of this recording. You can go to our website and click the link there to find our Unearthed tips and tricks, or you can go and search it on DM's Guild. Support our show and get an awesome book, I guess. Yeah, I really probably should write something for that.
Yeah.
Instead of just ad-libbing it, but
yeah.
whatever. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
Thanks for listening.
Keep your blade sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
Screw you, I'm a warlock.
That's the first time you jacked that up.
That certainly is not the first time I've jacked off. Wait, what'd you say?
That's the first time you jacked that up.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck?
Completely different thing.
Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna actually stop the audio recording, but I'll keep
Good call.
I'll keep the live stream going for a second. So, if he's interested, he can enjoy the conversation.
Now remind me, is the book? It's going to be digital only, right?
That depends. If we sell so many in a certain amount of time, it will become a physical copy.
Woohoo!
We have to sell like 100 in a certain amount of days. I think we can do it. I really do.
So guys who like our show, go ahead, look at our book, and check it out.
Yeah. So my plan
Buy a
is
physical edition. We each sign the cover and then put it up on eBay for an extreme amount of money.
that doesn't help though.
Buy it now, $1,000.
So far I'm the PDF will be $9.99. Half of that goes to DM's Guild, the other half goes to us, which means you guys get 15%, Gabe gets 10%, and then I get the rest. But
That leaves you like 65%.
of half, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot.
So
but if this goes through well, though,
Yep.
we will we'll make more. I think it's like Crit Academy presents Unearthed Tips and Tricks Volume 1.
and we
How
already
much-
have the material for 3 more volumes.
How much
Yes.
would the physical copy be? Because it's only, what,
It would
70?
be 25 to 30, I think. For our set,
Dang.
we're about 75 pages right now.
Yeah, 75 pages.
Yeah. Check it out.
Hey, you got a big heart. You know that, right?
He does. What'd he say?
He'll order 5 and we can raffle off 3.
I'm just thinking, he must be just like, fucking, here you go. Making it rain over there. Are you looking to adopt? Because ever since I got married, I ain't had no money. What episode is this? This is episode 102, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm super stoked for that. Like I said, I'm just waiting on the cover art, and there's a few fixes I have to fix in the PDF that came out that way was just the draft.
Yeah.
That's
what
near final.
That's what editing's for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I did the editing once before, but now that he's went and added all the pictures and stuff, some things kind of got janky and out of place. But I'm super excited for it. You want a signed one, man, dude? That could be. That's. I think we might be able to do something about that.
I don't see why not.
Like, think about. Well, I can't sign a digital one. We have to get a real one first. Well, see, and that's the worst thing about it. Is like I almost would like to see where we go with it first before our patrons buy it, because it would be terrible for them to buy the digital copy then have to buy a physical copy too. So I don't really know how to make that work. But
I think too would be sad if we each photocopied our butts and signed them.
I think it's cute that you think my butt would fit on a book. Like I would need like 3 books laid out with one for one cheek each, and then my balls on the third one. Okay.
I don't know what they do, print on demand.
They do print on demand, but I believe you have to sell so many copies before that's an option available to you.
Oh.
And I think it's 100 copies. You have to sell 100 copies before that becomes a thing.
And it's a good thing I'm about to say it's not being recorded right now. I mean, you can easily buy the book itself in PDF form, and there's plenty of print on demand services you can go to online.
Yeah, there are other ways I can do it, and I've looked into that. But because we went through DM's Guild, we can't do it through anything else.
I know.
But the people of the owners can though.
Right.
For like $15, I've figured out the price of that to get it in like those plastic spiral binds.
Yeah.
It's about $15 to $20, which is more than reasonable.
Yeah.
But then they'll print it off. It's all formatted for that already though. That was part of the layout pay and cost was to get it formatted for a book.
Yeah.
So that's my hope. That's my plan. We'll see. I'm really hoping at the bare minimum I want this to make back the $400 that I invested into it. Holy crap, that's not cheap work to do.
No.
And even then I'm still not satisfied 100% with it yet. So
there are some times where I think the book industry in general needs to modernize.
yeah.
Because they're stuck in their old model for decades, because that's how they always did it.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you later. Thanks for joining. You have a wonderful day.
Bye.